Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week, I've been driving the 2025 Rolls-Royce Cullinan Series 2. Up front is a 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video because this is the first Rolls-Royce press loan that I've had, meaning I have had this at my house and used this as my everyday vehicle for the last week. I also took this on a road trip that you should have seen a video on my channel about already. If you haven't seen that, please go check that out. So I have done lots of miles in this Cullinan, and I have lots of opinions about it. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 6.75-liter V12 under the hood. Well, that is the secret sauce that makes this so good. I'll put the horsepower up on the screen. I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but honestly, the horsepower number doesn't matter. Does it get up and move? Yes, this is an absolute freight train when you want it to be. And I take that back. It's actually not a freight train. It's actually a bullet train. But you don't hear it. You don't feel it. You don't sense it. It might as well not be there. Now, obviously, you get the benefits from it, the propulsion of it, but it might as well be electric. It might as well be in another room, in another section of the house. It is so smooth, so elegant that you look down, you can't believe the speed that you're doing. Every single speed feels like 10 miles an hour in the very best ways, and that has been glorious. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic. I could not tell you when it is shifting. I'm sure it's shifting, allegedly, so I've heard, but you don't feel it. It's not jolty, doesn't rock you, it just does its job. Last but not least, the Cullinan is all-wheel drive. So this is an all-wheel drive twin-turbo V12 SUV, and I don't think I've said that sentence before. How does it feel to drive? It is absolutely sublime. Cars in your dreams do not drive as well as this Cullinan. Driving up here on the Wisconsin back roads, the surface texture changes a lot. I wouldn't know. I have no concept of that. Acceleration test. Now we're moving faster. That's it. The steering is light. It's actually very friendly to drive. It is relatively big, but once you get that price tag out of your head, it actually drives like a regular SUV. It has a wonderful ride. The cabin sound is so quiet. I'm doing 60 miles an hour and I can whisper. You can hear the cadence in my voice so clearly. I don't have to speak loud. This has that soft, brilliant strength, and I love that a lot. It's amazing. It really, really is. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 digital gauges, really 4. Off to the left is my power reserve meter, meaning basically a reverse tachometer, how much you have to give. You want this number to be as high as possible because that means you're being delicate on the gas. Then you have your speedometer in the center. I love this sort of pixie dust animation that it has. Really, really cool. And then off to the right is our coolant temperature and fuel. Speaking of fuel, this thing's thirsty. Been averaging about 13 miles to the gallon, but that is of no concern to me. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise control options. And off to the right, we have our volume, voice commands, and skip track. Off to the left, we have not only a climate control vent, but 2 doors up at the top for the power operated doors. You hold this button down and it will automatically close the front doors for you. Down below, we do have our headlight switch. I absolutely love this because it really mimics like 1930s vehicles. And of course, our start stop. And moving on to the door, we have 2 speakers. I like the speaker. The speaker system's great. These speaker grills are very, very sharp, so be careful with that. Tailgate release, power mirrors, and power windows. On the door, down below that, we do have our massage function for the seats, as well as our memory seat options. Moving into the center, we do have our infotainment display. Not only does this have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but we have some really cool buttons, like you can raise and lower the Spirit of Ecstasy from this screen. We also do have a 360 camera, which is very helpful, but otherwise it's pretty standard. It's an easy to operate system. I like the system, and I think it works well. Down below, we have our favorite buttons. Now, these are nice not only because you could program them to the radio, but you could also program them to navigational points. Maybe grandma's house is 2 states over. You can hit a button and boom, it'll take you there. But my favorite thing is that number 8 is programmed to the Spirit of Ecstasy. So at the push of a button, you could put it up and down. Down below, we have 2 climate control vents that are very nice metal. Take a listen to this. Volume switch in the center, hazard switch, and central locking. And then down below, we have our climate controls. Not only dual zone climate, but dual fan speed. Absolutely love to see all this. We have heated and ventilated seats, as well as our heated steering wheel. Then we do have cup holders. We will do a big friggin' bottle test, and unfortunately it fails, but that is pretty standard here. Off to the right, you do have this really beautiful dashboard. You have a clock with the Spirit of Ecstasy in front of it. Absolutely beautiful. It says Cullinan. I love this piece of the car. And then we have our center console. We have our selector for that center screen if we want to use that instead of the touch screen. We also have buttons for our parking sensors, raise and lower the ride height of the Cullinan. This does have air suspension. Our camera button, hill descent control, and off-road button. Then we do have an openable cubby and the center console with a wireless charger. However, there are no USB ports up at the front. So if you want to use a wired charger, you have to use it from the back seat up to the front seat. Very, very weird. Then we have the seats. The seats are very, very comfortable. They are heated, ventilated power, memory, and massaging, of course. They are absolutely wonderful, and I like them a lot. Of course, you are going to absolutely sink into these seats. It becomes actually almost a concern that you might fall asleep behind the wheel of your Rolls-Royce Cullinan because it is so soft, so supple, and so comfortable. However, speaking of seats, if we're being honest, the back seats are where you want to be. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and a couple of things to note. First of all, it does have reverse opening doors that you reach up here, and it is power closing. Once we are in the back of the Cullinan, a couple of interesting things. We do have these pop-down tray tables with screens. You can watch or listen to music or movies with a USB drive. Down here in the center, we have our climate control vents, fan speed, heated seats, temperature, headphone jack, as well as USB-C and a 12-volt outlet. We get a fold-down center console with cup holders and some storage in the center. And up above, of course, we have the beautiful Starry Night headliner. Oh, I just saw a shooting star. Which is absolutely amazing. This really adds an ambiance to the vehicle that isn't matched by any vehicle in its segment. Size-wise, I fit beautifully. 5'11", not a small guy. I could sit here. I have tons and tons of space. The Cullinan is the perfect backseat luxury experience. We get these nice wood accents on the doors, as well as these speaker guards, which I do have to say are very sharp, so be careful with those. The lamb's wool floor mats carry on back here. Absolutely delectable. This is why you buy the Cullinan. You want this big backseat space. I've driven the Spectre. I've driven the Ghost. This is the best backseat experience you'll get. One major omission is ventilated seats. You don't get ventilated seats back here, even though you get ventilated seats in the back of a Toyota Sequoia Platinum, which might be around $80,000. So for that big price tag, you don't get ventilated seats. I think that's a little bit of a miss. And you only get massage seats up at the front. These don't have massage in them in the back, and this is kind of where you want to be. Very few misses there, but would I ever turn down the opportunity to ride in the back of a Rolls-Royce Cullinan? No, I wouldn't. I would not. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and tailgate. Yes, tailgate, and then we'll talk about the looks. Also in signature Rolls-Royce fashion, press the button here and you have the umbrella that comes out of either rear door. The reason behind this, your chauffeur opens the door for you if it's raining with one motion. Boom, there you go, umbrella right at your disposal. Huzzah! Also, long touch here, and there you go. Oh God, you can see my Crocs. No! All right, we're on the back of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and we are out here at Road America, so you might hear some very cool cars in the distance. But we have a very interesting opening rear tailgate. So we have a button here to open up the upper tailgate, but we also have a lower tailgate right here. Boom. Then we have the lower tailgate. Now, you could sit on this, you could use this as basically a truck tailgate, and you get this really cool opening space. This is another huge advantage of the Cullinan. You can fit all the golf bags you would ever need back there. You can pop this up, that's the window sticker, and that scary number. But you do get some storage down here, which is very cool. You could also recline. There goes a Mustang. You could recline these seats from back here. You get this nice privacy cover and of course plenty of space. Now you can close this independently, or if you just hit this upper button, it will close both together, and it's just fun to watch if nothing else. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is an absolutely fabulous red/brown. I love the look of it. I love the look of the Cullinan itself. It's been updated for 2025 and has these nice lighting signatures, but it has presence. That is the biggest thing. This has presence above all else. From the back, I don't really care, but up at the front, it is so recognizably Rolls-Royce that you just cannot deny it. Any time this vehicle entered any parking lot, this got the looks, and it deserves it. It deserves the looks wholeheartedly. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think spending a week with the Rolls-Royce Cullinan? Well, if I'm brutally honest with you, when I got this car delivered to my house, which, yes, I came outside and Rolls-Royce delivered a car to me, it was a very pinch me moment, I honestly had not the best thoughts. This does not have any form of hands-free driving, something that's available in $60,000 GM products. There's no charger up at the front. I don't get a digital rear view mirror. And as cool as the lamb's wool carpet is, the lamb's wool carpet is flipping cool, I felt like you might not get your money's worth with one of these vehicles. However, the more I drove it, the more I experienced the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, I understood. If you try to itemize the bill of this build sheet, you're going to go insane. The numbers don't make sense. You have to forget the numbers. If you're going to buy the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, you're not concerned with the numbers. What you are concerned with, and what you get with a vehicle like this, is an experience like no other. An experience that can only be had in a Rolls-Royce product. What I mean by that is that I drove this vehicle up to Wisconsin to a group of automotive journalists. We spend all day, every day around cars. And you tell someone, hey, I pulled up in a Lexus, I pulled up in a Mercedes, I pulled up in the new BMW M5 Touring, and everyone goes, oh, nice, how's that? When you say you pulled up in a Rolls-Royce, the conversation stops. The mood shifts. The emotions pivot. I checked into the hotel, gave them my credit card and ID, and they said, awesome, thank you for rooming with us. One last thing, if you could tell us the make and model of your vehicle so we know what's in the parking lot. And I said, for sure. The make is Rolls-Royce. The model is Cullinan. The color is reddish purple. And the lady looked up at me and she said, a what? I don't think there's ever been a Rolls-Royce in this county. And I said, well, it's parked around the side of the building. When you show people this car, their jaws hit the floor. Their breath is taken away. Just the mere ability to stand next to this car is a point of pride for most people. Just seeing one on the road, not even driving it, not experiencing the V12, not feeling the lamb's wool floor mats. That is enough to make someone's day. That is why you buy something like this, and that's what makes the Rolls-Royce Cullinan special. Not because it's the best bang for buck, not because it has this option and that option. When I give this car begrudgingly back to Rolls-Royce tomorrow, I'm not going to miss the metal air vents. I'm not going to miss the sound system, and I'm not even going to miss the massage seats. I'm going to miss the way this vehicle made me feel. The man that I was behind the wheel of the Rolls-Royce is a better person. Having the ability to share this vehicle with people. I drove this to my parents' house. I took it to my girlfriend's parents' house. Her grandma came over just to see the Rolls-Royce, just at the idea of being able to sit in one. Having that ability, telling people, yeah, get in, feel the seats, get a massage. Having that in my tool belt was an amazing privilege. Staring out that long hood, looking at the Spirit of Ecstasy and knowing that a V12 twin turbo was sitting down below. That was an amazing feeling. Will I miss the certain things about this car? Maybe, maybe not. But I will miss the feeling that it gave me. I have been riding a high the last several days while driving this vehicle, and that cannot be replicated, as far as I've known, by any other brand. Rolls-Royce is a period at the end of a very long, luxurious sentence. And after that, there is no debate. It's over. Rolls-Royce remains king. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Tori and everyone at Rolls-Royce that approved little old me to have a Rolls-Royce Cullinan for the last several days. It has been the honor and privilege of my career to be able to road trip this vehicle in this way. Thank you to everyone who's watched my videos and made this possible. I get to experience it, but we achieved it. And that I will never, ever forget. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.